It's time for the ace match, ladies and gentlemen. Solar once the Zerg versus Protoss Sniper, the Protoss killer in a time of Protoss dominance, has since slumped so hard. But now he's going up against one of the best Protosses in the world. One of the most successful, most well-paid, well-trained. And the scorer here, Team Salmon goes for herO, so does Monday Caster. However, both Korean analysts, Daehyun and Kanata, do go for Solar here. So, we'll see how this one goes. You know, there's been a lot of discussion about the matter. A lot of people say Terraform is a tough map for Protoss. But we'll see. herO the favorite, I feel, in most people's eyes. Let's jump into this one. The ace match, the deciding match. Samsung versus CJ Entis. Once the killer of Protosses, can he return to his former glory? It's Solar. The top left in yellow is herO, one of the most consistent Protosses in all of Starcraft 2. Has recently been overshadowed by the likes of Classic, but still one of the strongest in the world. Terraform, the map full of line of sight blockers. Bases in the middle of the map leave you vulnerable to attacks from ranged across the mineral patches. Right there we see that Overlord. If you try to take that base, Stalkers, Hydras, any sort of ranged unit on this map can pick away at your workers and you'll lose mining. We do see a pylon on the low ground. We could see a 12 forge here into a cannon on this two-player map. Solar likely to go for a hatch first with no drone scout. If he's going to send a probe, he's going to send it now. And he's not. It's going to be a Nexus first. Let me get that wall up pretty quick, though. So we'll get away with a hatch first, but it will be a hatch first versus a Nexus first. He won't be able to scout the Nexus for a while, so there's no way he would feasibly be able to add a third hatch before pool. Plus on this map, that style is pretty weak. Does check for cannoning. Here comes the first probe scout for herO. Will be scouted by this Overlord as well. You know what? He's going to do it. He's going to go for double hatch before pool. It's not terribly far away, but it is fairly vulnerable to gateway timings. Especially because of line of sight blockers and how many places you can hide pylons. You can have a quick reinforcement site, including above that ramp. So the ramp behind this base can have a pylon up there. It's hard for the Zerg to actually send lings over there to deny it while defending. You get cut off from the pylon. So it's a tough place. We're also going to see gateway follow-up from herO who's playing this greedy. He's read Solar really well. He's going to now confirm with this pool spotting. It is double hatch before pool. He's going to check the location with his probe just to be 100% certain. But he already knows. If he went home right now, I wouldn't even blame him. Verifies. Actually, nope, he hides the probe and is going to set up for a forward pylon. Oh, he just checks the gold base first. That's fair. That's reasonable. That's a more important thing to know. Now, I'd like to see him actually hide that probe and do something with it. Just want to see the gas timing before doing anything else. Sees no gases in the main. Course finished. Warp gate research instantly. And a Stalker. No mothership core just yet. In just a second we'll have it. There it is. So Solar has put himself into a vulnerable position. If he holds it, though, we'll get a pretty good lead. We'll be able to have triple hatchery production, all the extra larvae, the fastest saturation. And the cool thing about the third base is And you think, well, you can't saturate yet. What's so great about having a third base? Well, as a Zerg player, your hatchery, your expansion is also where you produce units. So when you have that extra location, it gives you twofold advantage. One is you can actually produce more drones more quickly, which then get faster mining. The other is you can make more units, you can get your creep up. It's a great thing to have. Obviously, while you're droning up like that, to make it worth the investment, you are vulnerable to timing attacks. Looks like we're going to see an Oracle follow-up. The Stargate is on the way. It's actually going to show 4 gases to that Overlord. So all is known here for Solar. Wow, even going to sneak a Ling in, perhaps? One more shot. Didn't see anything he didn't already know. Stargate is still hidden. Currently, the Stalkers are hunting down Overlords, making sure the Overlords are coming to the main base. Forge comes down as well, which further lends itself to being Oracle play. He really wants that tumor. He actually does kill it. And this could fool Solar into thinking he's going to be up against aggression because he's so actively even trading Stalker hit points for a tumor. Starts a Roach Warren here at 7 minutes. Warp Gate research is finishing. This Overlord will be denied the scouting information of that Stargate, which will actually supply block Solar as well. The wall is going to be tight before these Lings arrive. They don't have speed. Actually committed to quite a few Lings. I think he was expecting aggression. Has no Spore Crawler at his third base. But there's no targeting. It's actually just going to go for the Queen. Can be actually replaced by another Queen. Well, the Spores are going to be up. These drones need to be out of here. Can't believe he even tried to send those in there. So he gets a Queen and 3 kills. Probably could have gotten a lot more kills if he was targeting his Oracle on drones, but decided to kill the Queen instead. And this will affect some Larva Injects. Will force him to put another Queen over there. The probe did get sniped, so significantly delays the third base, but also lets Solar know that this is exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be an Oracle expand, not an Oracle attack. Oracle does take a bit more damage. Second Oracle coming, we're going to see burrow movement coming out here on this Roach Warren. Without Roach speed, though, just a single Roach Warren with this. Link speed is almost done. Without the Oracles back at home, that amount of Links could have crushed that army if they had speed and if those Oracles weren't home. He's actually chasing very far on them. Wants to actually go kill them with the Oracles. Wanted to hunt those down with his Stalker, so he knew where they were while they were still slow. So he kills the majority of them before speed finishes. Really well done. 12 Roaches with burrow movement on the way. Currently, I'm going to check, so I'm 100% sure. No robotics even started. And wow, he is actually going to go for an empty third +2 blink after this. Burrow movement is going to directly counter this. He does have detection in those Oracles, mind you. But he's going to have enough energy when it happens. Oh, a lot of force fields, but those are not going to be useful versus Roaches. So that's kind of the key here. Sentry is great against regular standard Roaches, great against Lings. When the Roaches get on top of them, they're not fighters. He is warping in a ton of Stalkers right now to balance his unit composition. He has 9 Sentries and 7 Stalkers currently. He's going to be making basically pure Stalkers for the next few minutes as his +2 finishes. His blink is already done. A good scout here with this Overseer. He sees the base is mostly empty. So he knows this is probably just a blink timing. And he can pressure this, slow the blink timing down, and do a lot of damage at the same time. He's actually going to try to surprise this because he knows there's no detection. He's going to jump right on top of these. This is how herO has died before. And this is his predictability and his playstyle. Now all these sentries going down. And look at this, the Link's just on top of this army. A fake Colossus here. That's not going to be very helpful. The Mothership Core has full energy. He's definitely going to want to start using that. There's an Nexus Cannon. He blinks back. But now these units are zoned out. He can hit the third base. Here comes the detection. Here comes that Oracle. With 2 Oracles, you could use one for detection, one for damaging and chasing the Lings. The attack gets deflected, but that was a great trade for Solar. And herO, not in a good spot. Again, his predictability with his playstyle has caused him to lose to the same build several times. He hasn't lost yet, and he will stabilize here. In fact, he reacted pretty nicely, all things considered. But detecting this army, hitting it with the +2. The Roaches have no attack upgrades whatsoever. And Stalkers have Blink. And this is a small enough Link force where they're not going to turn around and kill him. He's actually continuing to chase. But what I haven't talked about yet, which is the elephant in the room, is the Mutalisk transition. Now he's going to try to trade against these Stalkers. He's going to keep them occupied while the Mutalisks go and harass the main base. He's going to wait. He's pulling them together here. He's got 8 more on the way. Now, if he keeps the Stalker count low, the Mutalisk can do even more damage. He's got no cannons. He's got nothing. Here's the first Warp In. With good micro, he should be able to stave this away, though. He's not microing. He's microing these units. With individual Blink Stalker micro, you can crush Mutalisk because they only have 3 range. Stalker way more than that. And with Blink, whenever a Stalker gets targeted, if the Mutalisk try to focus it, it's just like a bad situation. Oh, you know what? He could actually bring the Mutalisk over for this chase. He's going to try to Blink over these rocks. He needs to do it perfectly. He is herO after all. Great shift Q Blink micro there. He reveals the Mutalisk, which is great. He's going to lose the Oracle for it. But he's got a second one. He's going to continue to reveal these Lings. The transition is into Infestors and Hive. He's got a 4th base to the top right. And make no mistake, Solar is still significantly ahead in this game. But he's going to need time to get his upgrades caught up and get those Infestors out. He's fighting a pure Blink Stalker army with units that get countered by Blink Stalkers, essentially. He needs those Infestors. He needs that Pathogen Glands upgrade. This Oracle is going to find this base empty. Good reaction here by Solar. Now he's just going to fight this. Look at this. Blinks forward even on top of these Lings. He's going to try to use these Mutalisks to circumvent the Blink Stalkers and go for some harassment to bring them home. Blink Stalkers don't have a recall. A base trade is the likely outcome of this game. There's so many Mutalisks in this pack, like 12 or more. Just going to try to fight with these Stalkers underneath cannon fire and blink back. But the Lings coming in is a big problem. There's no wall. And here they come into the main base. A few Warpins attempt to stop them here. And it's not going to happen. He targets down the base. The Oracle comes home, but he's a bit too late. He's absolutely going to lose this Nexus. And for not a whole lot of damage on the Zerg's part, he's killing so many probes as well. He's actually going to maybe go for the second Nexus here as well. Stalker's blinking forward. He can easily escape now the Stalkers get trapped into the main base. And there's nothing that herO can do to capitalize on this moment. You know, where he traded a lot of Lings. He has Infestors at home. He's making Spine Crawlers. The only way for herO to do a big attack is to do an all-in counterattack. The second he leaves his base, the Mutalisks come back in to kill more probes. Oh boy, so many Mutalisks going down, but it doesn't matter because he killed a lot of probes. 21 probes in general, or in total. Ultralis Cavern nearly done. He's going to lose the Mothership Core, which means no more recalls in that base trade scenario that will eventually happen here. It's already starting to happen. He's praying. He's hoping. I don't know what type of god herO prays to or what he thinks when he hopes, but he is hoping himself, please let there not be any Infestors. And he finds out his worst nightmare is true. Now down 50 supply with pure Blink Stalkers. Trying to micro back. It's now +2 Stalkers versus +2 Lings. A ton of them, mind you. There are 44 Blink Stalkers on the map. He can still make this work. It's just the Fungals, if they end up chaining together really well, the Stalkers are eventually going to run out of health because they can't blink while they're in the fungal state. Okay, he's going to blink forward into all these Fungals, into those Spine Crawlers. Infested Terrans being dropped as well. So much extra DPS on these Mutalisks, and this is not going to work. Solar's going to take this game. The crowd is screaming and crazy. This is one of the crazier crowds we've had in Pro League in recent times. herO's down to basically 2 mining bases. 1.5, considering the main base is almost done. They're going to be Ultralists out. This is herO's Achilles heel when it comes to Pro League. Is his matchup, his weakness at dealing with burrowed roaches. And now Solar is just transitioning well. Sees the Ultralist, he's going to have to type out. I don't care if his logo in Star League is a Blink logo. No amount of Blink Stalker micro is going to save him here. It's over. Samsung's going to take it. The rest of the probes will fall here. And here's going to take one last engagement. GG! Solar wins! And so does Samsung. Oh, he hears the screams of the crowd. He raises his arms. Upset after upset. Solar. Who is this man today? He's back. And he takes the win. But I will never vote for herO in the PBC and Pro League ever again. This is a very important win for Samsung today. They get another +1 indicator point and another win. Whereas CJ will go down an indicator point and will end up at a 2-2 score, further hurting their chances of making it to the playoffs this round. They barely got in the playoffs for round 3 off of Spenu's mistake more than their victory. So they're in a shaky time here. For some of these top-tier teams that aren't looking as solid recently, the fact that SKT is looking so good really means that there's so many points up for grabs. If SKT takes out everybody, they really lopside the rest of the standings. We'll take a look at that in a minute. But look at this. Byung takes the first win versus Reality. Then Solar crushes Bill. herO beats Hurricane in a narrow PvP win. And then Bravo beats Sky High, wrecks him as well. And then Solar just defeats herO with straight up burrow movement roach play, which herO is yet again not prepared for because he plays the same style almost every game in this matchup, no matter what the map it is. So let's take a look at our current standings. Because like I said, we're going to look at the total points actually first. Look at Samsung and look at Spenu. With KT Rolster down there at the bottom, they could, with a solid finish in round 4, they could make it in. MVP as well, it's still possible. Prime, not so much. But if KT Rolster does badly and these teams actually do well in this playoffs, it's absolutely doable. It is feasible for them to make it. Now, our winners' rankings. herO does take the lead over Zest. Zest will be playing tomorrow in the Telecom Derby. Be sure to tune into that. But herO loses in that final match, which means he doesn't take the 2-win lead he wanted. Bill also with the loss today, not going to be able to catch up to Zest. And that's about it for those rankings. Byung as well into 9th place, does move up a spot. Tied now with Innovation. Innovation being fielded very infrequently this round, though. Notice his record is 13-4. Oh my God.